Welcome everyone to Never For Us, Without Us, learning the gift of sign and empowering voices for disability representation and awareness in the workplace. My name is Jose Marroquin, pronouns he, him, his, and I will be serving as a moderator for today's virtual event. I live in the Chicagoland area, and I am a manager of DEI at the Society of Actuaries. I am a cisgender male, and I identify as United States Hispanic Latino. And today I am virtually in my home moderating this panel and happy to welcome everyone to this virtual event today. We have an excellent panel discussion in the first half of this presentation, and then we will have a guided ASL activity towards the mid part of this event. In front of you, you will see nothing about us without us. It is a motto popularized by the disability rights movement in South Africa in the 1990s. It aims to empower people with disabilities to take control over decisions affecting their lives and have full and equal inclusion in all aspects in societies. Also, you will see the disability pride flag. Our presentation today is using the disability pride flag as an image. The charcoal gray background represents the memory of the victims of ableist abuse and violence. The diagonal band of colors signifies the cutting across the barriers, blocking people with disabilities from full participation in society. The red stripe represents physical disabilities. The gold stripe represents neurodivergence. The white stripe represents undiagnosed and invisible disabilities. The blue stripe represents psychiatric disabilities, and the green stripe represents sensory disabilities. Again, join us today in this panel as we celebrate the unique individuality of importance of every person within our workplaces and society. As we move on next, we'll be talking a little bit about employee resource groups and business resource groups in the workplace. As many of our organizations and companies might have affinity groups, many of us might be familiar with BRGs and ERGs. Different terms, but they achieve the same purpose. The purpose is for every employee to feel like they belong within their respective work environment and create a culture of inclusion. And today's panel will be touching a little bit about that, specifically from the disability perspective and lens and experience. Moving next, I will have the unique opportunity and luxury and privilege to provide an overview of today's panel as well as our ASL instructor. First, we have panelist Jen Thomas, co-founder of Thrive. She is vice president and home office underwriter at Chubb. Next, we have Bridget Daniels, co-chair of Empowering Abilities, manager of administrative operations at AI. And again, in the latter half of today's event, we will have our ASL instructor, Kennedy Ehiwe, associate broker financial services, who is part of our Dive In Disability Committee. I'm excited for today's event, and we're going to move towards our respective panel. First, to Bridget. What is the importance of having a BRG focused on disability and accessibility in the workplace?
Hi, my name is Bridget Daniels. I identify as a cisgender female, Caucasian with retinitis pigmentosa, which is an invisible disability. I have auburn hair, and I am wearing a white and tan patterned shirt, as well as black and white glasses. To me, the importance of having a BRG focused on disability and accountability or accessibility in the workplace is really important. There are a lot of things that come with having a disability. I myself was diagnosed in my early 30s, and then eventually my own disorder progressed to a point where I was not able to drive at night. Disclosure is a key part of that, and having a community where you feel comfortable finding resources and having just others who understand where you're coming from, being able to help you through that process is really important within the workplace, because it can be very challenging and very scary to go to someone and tell them that you have a disability or something that might challenge you in your day-to-day work.
Thank you, Bridget. Appreciate you sharing that perspective. Next, let me bring in our next panelist. And you can share a little bit of your thoughts on specifically the importance of having accessibility in the workplace.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. And I'll introduce myself with a visible description as well. My name is Jennifer Thomas. My pronouns are she, her. I live in Peterborough, which is northeast of Toronto, Canada. I'm also the co-chair of Thrive, which is Chubb's Disability Business Roundtable. I'm a cisgender woman. I'm white with brown hair, and I'm wearing a white shirt with a blue blazer and black glasses. And I'm at home in my office right now with a background that is a window and a bookshelf with frames and a plant. And so I completely agree with all of what Bridget said. And I definitely think by organizing a group dedicated to disability and accessibility, an organization can clearly demonstrate that it understands and values the need to empower the disability community, which ultimately helps employees with disabilities to bring their authentic selves to work. And so I kind of see three main benefits of having a disability-related BRG. The first one being it helps to challenge disability stereotypes. So encourages people with disabilities to tell their story and provides a platform to educate employees who maybe haven't experienced disability, have had experience in the disability space in the past. So helps to identify stereotypes, outlines appropriate language around disability, and then also just helps to show the importance of celebrating individual abilities and embracing our differences, which can ultimately help promote a culture of inclusivity, which is what we're trying to do. And then secondly, I would say BRGs help to identify opportunities for improvements. So ranging from accommodations, accessibility, management training, hiring practices, and even technology. And so by recognizing these gaps and these areas for improvement, we can make the necessary changes to help the workplace become more accessible and inclusive for all. And then third, and really what I see as kind of the heart of the BRTs, they allow employees to build a community that offers empathy and safety. And really, this is what can help improve employee satisfaction, not just for employees with disabilities, but also all team members. I really do think that a workplace that values diversity and provides a safe and inclusive environment fosters that sense of true belonging that you were talking about originally, Jose, and ultimately leads to greater overall success.
Thank you, Jen. Definitely, I hear themes, right, that are very nuanced at times and varies by level and depending on the workplace and our employees' needs. Bridget, let me bring you back in. I wonder if you can maybe talk a little bit about, as we move on to the next question, how do you ensure that DEI initiatives are inclusive and not just focus on a single aspect of diversity?
I think having a BRG helps advocate for that. We are able to provide insight beyond just the apparent. You see someone in a wheelchair, obviously that is someone who is going to have some sort of challenges or needs for accommodation. And recognizing and educating and having the ear of leadership and being able to provide those commentaries necessary to help ensure that all disabilities are encouraged and celebrated and brought to the forefront and considered as the organization makes decisions and policies and things of that nature.
Yeah, definitely. I think oftentimes I have conversations about intersectionality and the different identities that our colleagues in the workplace, individuals bring to their workplace, and ensuring that we understand our coworkers and our colleagues and our leaders from multiple dimensions. Jen, let me bring you in and kind of hear your perspective and maybe how you see things from your lens in regards to about when working on these type of initiatives that, yes, we're working towards inclusion, but then we also know that we might need to focus on different aspects, right? Because we have different individuals in our workplace.
Yeah, so I mean, I think what both of you said it sort of hits the nail on the head. It's very relevant. I think it's really, really important to take into consideration the whole person and to make sure that we're being inclusive of everybody and thinking about all of their respective needs. I'm just wondering, the question on the screen is about the BRG and our organization. Do you want me to touch on that as well?
Yeah, we'll definitely have some time, but if you got also that knowledge, we'll be happy to hear it.
Okay, yeah. Do you mind just repeating the question for me?
Yeah, no problem. I was wondering, Jen, if maybe you could talk a little bit about, so we know that our workplaces have a lot of individuals with multiple dimensions of identity. I talk about intersectionality, understanding how different identities are strong and sometimes in our workplaces. Sometimes when we work on DEI initiatives, we're working towards being inclusive, but how do we work with our BRGs and ERGs so they're not just focused on one single aspect of diversity?
Yeah, so I think the importance is educating ourselves as BRT leaders or BRG leaders about what other BRGs are out there and making sure that every event or initiative that we're going to run, we take into consideration what other intersectionalities we could embrace and include as part of that. So, as an example, had a few speakers who we wanted to have come and talk about the wonderful disability world and help raise awareness about disabilities in the workplace, but then also notice, oh, there's intersectionalities. One was a woman and one was a minority. And it's important that we make sure we're incorporating all of that because our employees need to be seen and they need to feel like they are part of that community and that they belong. And so it's just really important that we're not just sort of narrowly focusing on one element and that we're seeing it from a sort of a broader perspective.
Yeah, definitely. And yes, Jen, I'm glad you were teeing up our next focus area of our discussion, because what I really like about both your perspective and lenses is that you have BRG experience. You've seen it, what that means in your respective workplaces, and work with colleagues who are dedicated in that space. So, Bridget, let me start with you again, and I want to allow you the opportunity to talk a little bit about how your BRG kind of manifests itself within the workplace, how it's impacted your colleagues, your organization, and just maybe also touch upon a little bit of like the initiatives that you've taken on and things of that nature.
Of course. Our BRG has advocated for simplification of the accommodations process is one thing. Michelle Q, my co-leader, worked very diligently on that. The accommodation process, if you don't know what you need to do, can be very daunting. It can also be very frustrating when you have to recertify every year. So working to provide FAQs to help assist colleagues when they have to go through that. And sometimes maybe it's something very sudden that they need to go through. And you're already frustrated with a new diagnosis or, being a caregiver, and then needing to go through that process on top of it and the required documentation and just additional challenges that you don't deal with on a regular basis. Additionally, one thing that our BRG has implemented in the last couple of months is a monthly Empower Hour is what we're calling it. It is a monthly hour-long session where colleagues can come, find community. They are encouraged to share their stories. Just in the last month, we had one on neurodivergence. We have one next month discussing mental health and its impact on those with disabilities, and having intersectionalities with our mental health BRG, providing information, providing that resource for those who may not know where to turn. And even, I think, empowering our own members to embrace their own stories and their own authenticity and present their most authentic self.
Yeah, definitely excited to hear, different aspects of programming that you offer and maybe some synergies that might be happening in other organizations and companies. Jen, what about you? I'm excited to hear a little bit about what you have seen, how your BRG approaches some aspects of programming or advocacy, or just in general in creating a more inclusive and a sense of belonging with your respective colleagues.
Yeah, definitely. And I love a lot of what you said, Bridget. It sounds like you've got some amazing initiatives and programs in place there. So we started our Chubb BRT Thrive about 2 years ago and have really been working to try to spread disability inclusion awareness through the organization. And the way that we've gone about it is we have three sort of key pillars. One of them is supporting caregivers of loved ones with disabilities. One of them is supporting existing employees with disabilities. And then the third is really broadening the talent pool to try to create new opportunities and ensure we have opportunities for advancement for employees with disabilities. And so the first one, caregivers, we've really tried to create a community of caregivers where we provide monthly informational articles, kind of resources or tips and tricks that we call Caregivers Corner. And then we also offer a free monthly professionally facilitated support group for caregivers to connect. They can share their stories, successes, learn from each other, and kind of work through challenges together. And this one specifically has had quite an impact on many people around Chubb who are working every day to balance their jobs with their role as a caregiver. And I feel personally connected to this pillar because I'm a caregiver to my 11-year-old son who happens to have Down syndrome. And so I really see and feel and have seen and felt the difference that being a part of this community can make. And sometimes you don't realize, the importance and the impact it can have until you're a part of it. So that's the caregivers. The second pillar is employee support. And with this, we're really striving to normalize disability. And by that, I mean make it so that it's part of the everyday conversation. So one of the ways we're doing this, it actually sounds similar, Bridget, to what you were talking about. We're doing this through story sharing. And so we encourage employees with disabilities to share their story on our company intranet site and then help educate others and really create that sense of community and belonging for employees with disabilities. So we've also hosted several awareness sessions, informational presentations, and celebrations around autism, neurodivergence, the deaf and hard of hearing community, and many others. And feedback so far has been really positive, and we continue to hear from employees with disabilities who feel seen with these initiatives and events, and just, appreciate hearing from other colleagues who happen to have disabilities and kind of learn from some of their experiences and challenges and successes, and then overall help to kind of challenge some of those disability stereotypes that I was talking about earlier. And then the third pillar, the new opportunities group, we've partnered here with HR and with our employee recruitment team to try to broaden our talent pool from which we hire, which includes universities with who are focused on specific disabilities. And then we've also worked with an organization that trains neurodiverse candidates on insurance and then pairs them with companies for internships. And we've had quite a lot of success with that too. One thing I will note, from what I observe or what I have observed so far, to really maximize the potential impact of your BRG, organizational readiness is very important. And it's helpful to have management training programs in place so that employees with disabilities will be supported not only at the hiring stage, but once they're hired and sort of, starting into their roles. And we've learned a lot around best practices through organizations like Disability In. So I definitely encourage any BRG just starting out to connect with them or a similar disability focused organization.
Yeah, hearing both of your perspectives, I one of the what I hear is empathy, right? And being having the opportunity to create this inclusion in the workplace, and having these ERGs and BRGs being a key connector, to our employees, right? To aid with retention, but really just focusing on the human aspect. Yes, we're here in the workplace and we come to work and we have our duties, right? But we're also human beings that live in the greater world where so much happening. We have multiple varied identities. So definitely excited to hear some of the powerful opportunities and learning opportunities and support aspects that your respective ERGs and BRGs hold in your companies. Moving a little bit forward, I was wondering if we can talk a little bit more, and Bridget, we can start with you again, on maybe some thoughts on, and if both of you have shared some key indicators, but I want to see if we can talk a little bit more on how we can advocate for a more accessible accommodations for people who need them, whether it's candidate interviewing and then once they're onboarded, or during their tenure as a respective colleague in a company or organization.
Yeah, so I feel like as a manager myself, I think one thing that's super important is for a manager to create that relationship and foster that environment where your direct reports do feel comfortable, or hopefully more comfortable, coming to you if they do have an issue where they might need an accommodation. Our BRG has, as I said before, partnered with our people organization to help provide an FAQ that helps to streamline the very, complex accommodation process, helping to provide them with answers and resources. Another thing that we are doing later this year is we are partnering with Joshin to provide some mentoring to individuals with autism, and that helps to bring some awareness to it as well. I think the most important thing is just to continue to make sure that the BRG is connected to the leadership team and is providing those uh, insights and feedback where they see things that could be improved. We've had conversations about our offices are moving to new locations and there's new build outs, and there have been some challenges there, not necessarily thought upon. So being able to provide that feedback, being able to bring awareness to where we see hiccups or points of frustration, and helping to smooth that along, providing that community for those who are a caregiver or who are, like myself, with an invisible or visible disability, where we can go and have conversations and provide that safe space for people to come and get resources, be their authentic selves, and really just settle into the organization.
Yeah, definitely. I think, we often hear about just employees and the opportunity to them have resources. Jen, any initial thoughts, about how we can kind of work towards just also advocating, but then ensuring that we're doing our best. We're staying contemporary with external benchmarks, or even being forward thinking about accommodations and accessibility in the workplace for our colleagues.
Yeah, so I mean, I totally agree with all of what Bridget said, and I had, some of the same thoughts as well. I like it's crucial to establish those partnerships internally with departments who are responsible for facilities, HR, IT, policy development. Like we need to all be working together to identify those gaps in accessibility and then to advocate for the necessary changes. And as Bridget said, like we need to understand who the decision makers are and really partner with leadership, to make a case for sort of stress the importance of accessibility and then to make the case for changes where you think they're necessary. And then the other one I would say too, the other benefit or the other thing that we've kind of learned about how to best advocate for accessible accommodations is through external collaboration. So connect with advocacy organizations, disability groups, and people with disabilities. I mean, the whole theme behind this panel is nothing about us without us. So, we have to include people with disabilities in the conversation. And one of the most influential and impactful events that we've had to date through Thrive was doing just that. We invited a professional speaker to come to our head office and talk about his experience with autism. He shared his firsthand knowledge and experience that kind of highlighted accessibility challenges and solutions. And it was engaging and interactive and left an imprint on every single person who was there. So, it just sort of stresses the importance of working together and including people with disabilities in the conversation in order to kind of amplify our collective voices and advocate for some of those changes, accessibility changes. And then I think like we've all kind of said this throughout, but raising awareness is key. So using internal, if you have social media or whatever communication platforms you have within the organization to really raise awareness, that can help to advocate for accessibility too. And so this is one of the things that we've tried to do with our Thrive Stories campaign, which is really to encourage employees to share their stories and then also talk about how they've benefited from some of the accessible accommodations within the organization as a way of raising awareness about what already exists and then also to motivate others to help advocate for further accessibility accommodations. So we hosted a panel last year with all our facilities and accommodations teams to kind of educate around accessibility practices and to provide information and guidance around accommodations. And, there were several people who didn't know what we already had out there. So employees and managers obviously need to know. I think Bridget had the same point as well that, if and when accommodations are needed, they need to know how they can access them. And so making sure we're raising awareness about not only, more accommodations that we need, but also about what's existing out there currently.
Indeed. Thank you, Jen. A lot of quality examples, a lot of the work that both of you have conveyed and communicated today. Excited to hear that. Hopefully, some of our attendees were able to take away some opportunities, area opportunities for their workplace, or even just programming ideas. Thank you to Jen and Bridget for your insight in today's panel. Next, I want to bring in my fellow Dive In Disability Committee member, Kennedy, for the next half of our respective virtual event. Kennedy.
Thank you so much, Jose. My name is Kennedy Ehiwe. Everyone, I use the he, him pronouns. I am a commercial risk broker at Aon. I reside in the greatest city in the world. That is debatable, I know, but I live in New York City. A big shout out to my fellow New Yorkers here attending this section. I serve as a Dive In Disability Committee member. I belong to the National African American Insurance Association, NAIA, and I am also a co-lead of Aon's Black Professional Network, BPN, New York chapter, as well as a member of Aon's Financial Services Group, DEI Committee. A virtual introduction of myself. I am of Nigerian descent. I identify as male, belong to Gen Z. I have brown skin, and I'm currently sporting a reading glasses. I am dressed in a light blue jacket, and a white and blue striped collared button-down shirt. So I am currently situated in one of Aon's numerous conference rooms. And we want to use this opportunity to teach and to learn a little bit of ASL, which is American Sign Language. Do you know the American Sign Language? It's not just any language, right? It is a language specifically for the deaf and hard of hearing community. It is not sight English. It is just as you would learn maybe French or Spanish, right? It is a language of its own. So it has all the characteristics of a language. It is not universal. The American Sign Language is owned to America, which is the United States of America. Each country has their own sign language. And here we would be learning certain words, easy words, not difficult. So to start up a conversation, for instance, you have the opportunity to meet someone that is deaf or hard of hearing. And you said to yourself, how do I introduce myself? How do I communicate? I want to be able to communicate to this friend. I want to be able to communicate with this colleague. I want to be able to communicate with this client, right? Here is an opportunity for you to have that basic foundation. And the goal is to encourage each and every one of you to have that intention to build upon this foundation that you're going to have today. Build upon it. Use the opportunity to learn a new skill. Use the opportunity to learn a new language. And I assure you, it's something you would never regret. Right? So I will stand up for this class so that you can see my hands. Okay, let's do this. You can see my hands. You can see my body. Because in sign language, we use all of these features. Use your hands. Your facial expression is very important. Your body language is very important, right? And the first word we're going to learn today is hi, hello. Right there where you are, I want you to practice as I teach. So wherever you are, if you're seated, if you're standing, please follow me as I teach. Hi, hello, hi, hello. So I want to repeat. Hi, hello, right? It's very important. You never can overemphasize or underestimate the power of hi, hello. You see my facial expression. Can't do hi. No. You want the person to feel the warmth. You want the person to feel welcomed, right? So hi, hello, right? I know we have that down. Second word that we want to learn today is very important, very, very important one, which is thank you. Thank you, right? We want to be appreciative of everyone. Someone did something very good to you, and you want to be appreciative to say thank you. This is how you do it. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Right? So you look at the person. Thank you. It's very easy. Your hands to your lip towards the person. Thank you. It's a sign of gratitude to show gratitude and appreciation. The first one is hi. Oh, hi. Second one, thank you. Right? And we'll switch to the next, which is welcome. You want to tell somebody welcome. Thank you. Or someone said thank you to you. You want to say, oh, welcome. This is how you do it. Welcome. Right? From your head level down to probably your waist level. I'll come this way. Welcome or welcome. So you can either do your side or in front of you. Welcome. It's very easy. Welcome. You're bringing the person closer to your space. You're telling the person, you are welcome to my space. You are welcome here. Welcome. Welcome. Good. And the next word is please. 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 So your palm on your chest and rub. Please. Please. The next word is excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. So you open your palm, your left palm, and the right palm. Your fingers touches the palm, your left palm, and twice. Excuse me. Excuse me. From this side, you can see, excuse me, right? Excuse me. Thank you. Please. Welcome. Hi. Right. And bye. Goodbye. Farewell. Very easy. We do this unconsciously. This is one of the easiest one. Bye. Bye. Right. I guess everyone knows that. It's very easy. Bye. It's very easy. Then my name is. So this is a little bit longer than the other words that we've learned so far, but it's also very easy. So I will start with each word. My. You're touching yourself, right? Or you can do me, mine. So you can do mine or me, right? Name. 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 So name, you're using index finger and this finger together. These other fingers together. Name. Name. My or my name is. But in ASL, if you want to say all of that, you can say name, then you say your name, right? For instance, I want to introduce myself in ASL. I'll say, my name is Kennedy. So this is my signed name, Kennedy, right? And that will bring me to the next slide. The next slide is very important in ASL. It is called the ASL alphabet. Very important. You can finger spell or you can spell any word using the sign. What I did earlier, I spelled my name before I gave my sign name as Kennedy. So you meet a deaf or hard of hearing person for the first time, and there are words that you can't spell and sign. There are words that you don't know the sign, but you can spell them. You can spell your name, right? So we're going to learn this alphabet in ASL. The first one is A. You've closed, your fingers are closed, and your thumb, one of the finger, A. B. You see, the thumb is inside and the four fingers are facing upward. B. C. C is like a donut, a rounded donut without closing. So there's a space in between, right? C. You see? That is C. D. All the fingers are closed except one, which is this finger facing upward. D. A. B. C. And D. E. All the fingers are touching my thumb. My thumb is over here, and the fingers are all touching it. E. E for elephants, E for egg, and F. So the three last fingers facing up, facing to the ceiling, and these two touching itself. So F. G. Look at it. This is G, right? G. So let's take from A to G again. A. I believe you all are practicing with me, right? Because I want you to learn the finger spelling. It's very important. A, B, C, and D. E, F, G. Good, good, good job. Good job, everybody. And we've gotten the first A to G. We're going to go to H and N. Are you ready? Let's go. H. So H is like G, but with two fingers. Remember, G is one finger and the thumb. That's G. Then we go to H, right? Two fingers and the thumb touching itself. I. This is one of the easiest one to remember. I. It's just me. Just a small tiny finger, right? Says I. 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 Then J. So J, it's very beautiful because you have to use the same tiny finger of I to draw the letter J. So you're drawing it, right? You're drawing it in the hair. J. Let's go, everybody. J. Good job. And this is K. You see, it's not the same. This is K. L. L. The letter L. M. Three fingers. M. N. So M and N is very similar, but different. Remember, M is three fingers, N two fingers. M and N. O. O. All the fingers are touching the thumb. O. 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 So we have H, I, J, K, L, M, N, and O. Then we have P. P is an inverted K. Remember, we have our K like this way. But P is coming down. So instead of going upward, come down. So this is your P. Q. Q. You see, there is a gap between my thumb and this finger. That's Q. R. We Gen Zs, we've turned out like R, right? When the fingers are crossed. Very beautiful. So this is R. S. S has all the fingers and the thumb is touching almost all the fingers. So this is your S. Then T will come up here. So S is this way and T comes on top. U. You see the two fingers also facing up. U. V. So U and V is very similar, but you could see how it looks exactly like the English alphabet because U, it's closed, V is open. Just like the English alphabet, V is open, U is closed. How about W? Very similar. So W, we have 1, 2, 3 fingers open. Yes, 3 fingers open. 2 fingers open. 2 fingers closed for U. 2 fingers open for V. 3 fingers open for W, right? And this is X. It has a little curve on top of it. X. Y. Y. There's a 2 stem. If you look at the English alphabet for Y, the 2 stem, it's out there. So it's easy for you to remember. And Z, you draw, just like we did with J, right? You drop Z. So we're going to start from A to Z one more time, and we're doing this together. Are you ready? You ready? Awesome. So let's go. A, B, C, D, E, F. This is G, H, I, J, J, A, L, L, M, N, O, P, Q. You see my Q? R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Great job. Give yourself a round of applause. Great job. Great job. Great job, everybody. You have just learned the basic ASL alphabet. Good. Great job. So now, give it a try. Finger spell your name. That is your assignment because we are in a class. And I'm giving you an assignment, and you do the assignment now. So you're going to use 2 minutes. Finger spell your name. I will do the same. My name is Kennedy. So Kennedy is K-E-N-N-E-D-Y. Kennedy, right? Did you spell your name in ASL? Congratulations. You've just been able to sign or finger spell your name in ASL. So you meet someone, a deaf person or hard of hearing, you can say hi or hello. My name is Kennedy, right? What have you just done? You've communicated. You've signed in sign language, right? You meet the next person, and from there, you learn to grow. You learn to grow. The next slide will show resources that are available. Should in case you want to learn more, you want to get more into ASL. These are resources that are available. You can contact Bridget, you can contact Thomas, right? And these are areas where you can learn, you can have a community, right? In the deaf and hard of hearing community that would help you grow in your ASL. And for this, I will sit down. Thank you very much. So the significance of this issue or this class is for us to have workplaces where we aim to eliminate obstacles that hinder disability and recruitment. We want to ensure that we have no biases against those who are hard of hearing or deaf, because you have just learned to be able to sign. And also, we want to foster inclusivity within the workforce and to broaden your horizon. Now you've learned a new language. And now you're able to sign at least your name. You're able to say hi. You're able to say hello, right? You've broadened that horizon. You've gained new perspective and limitless possibilities of what could come in the future. I would like to express my gratitude to my esteemed friend and colleague, Hannah Noda. I believe she's on this call. Hannah Noda, she is deaf, and for her exceptional achievement, she made one of the 3 finalists for Hacker Woman of the Year 2024 by Cybersecurity Woman of the Year Award. So please join me as we give a virtual applause to Hannah Noda, who, against all odds, breaking barriers, was able to meet this great feat. Hannah, you're over there. We want to know that you are a beacon of light to the deaf and hard of hearing community and to us in general. She embodies the adage that says there is ability in every disability. So with that, I say thank you, everyone. Thank you to those that practiced in this class and those that will take this further to their various countries, to their various cities, and those that will go all the way to become sign language instructors and part of the deaf and hard of hearing community. Thank you very much. With this, I hand over to my friend and my co-committee member, Ozil. Thank you.
Thank you, Kennedy, for sharing this opportunity with us and with all of our attendees. Also, I would like to mention that this past Monday was International Day of Sign Languages. So very appropriate that we're having our fellow dive in not only this specific program, but this week of excitement with Dive In and these engagement opportunities to help make our workplaces more inclusive. I definitely want to thank all of our local sponsors, both in the virtual space and in person, and our ERG and BRG sponsors. In addition, as we end today's virtual session, I definitely want to give my gratitude to the Dive In Disability Committee, specifically to Will Childs, Autumn Kane, Michelle Koo, and then our respective panelists, Jen Thomas from Chubb, Bridget Daniels from Aon, and of course, the person we just had our other presentation from, Kennedy Ehiwe from Aon. All of us have been working with the rest of our committee members to bring you today's session, and we're really prideful of the work and the knowledge that was shared in today's virtual session. And I would like to finally express my gratitude to all the staff and participants in Dive In Worldwide, as well as you, the attendees, for sharing a little bit of your time today, wherever you're at the world. And just know that we will continue to celebrate Dive In, and we look forward to engaging both in person and virtual the rest of the week as we continue to celebrate the Dive In Festival. Thank you to everyone, and I hope everyone has a great day.